when England scored a goal.
Yeah.
I think, God knows how, when Andros scored. I bet you felt this.
Only Beatlemania has bitten the dust. London calling, see we ain't got no swing except for the rain and the crunch of thing. The ice is coming, the sun's zooming in. Meltdown expected, the wheat is good in. Engines stuck on it, but I have no fear, 'cause London is drowning and I live by the river to the imitation zone. Forget it, brother, you can go it alone. London calling to the zombies of death. Quit holding out and draw another breath. London calling, and I don't want to shout, but while we were talking, I saw you nodding out. London calling, see we ain't got no hide.
We're back.
Well, we weren't anywhere, but we are back.
We are back. Welcome along to London Calling in association with Equate, the natural energy drink. Apologise for the slight delay tonight. A couple of techie issues behind the scenes. It's all singing, all dancing. You can't see it, we can. Tonight we'll be joined live on the phone by Charlie Austin, the Arsop scorer, 5 goals in his last 5 games. We'll also be joined live by Ars legend Marc Bircham, somebody who's obviously had a foot in both camps of QPR and Millwall, Saturday's opponents at the Den. We'll also be looking back on that recent 2-0 win against Barnsley prior to the international break. And we've got competition to win the signed QPR first team shirt, signed by the entire squad. So it's well worth listening to that. And Jack Milner, Jack from Bet Victors, joins us with this week's odds. And we've got the stat of the week, courtesy of our friend at QPR Stats on Twitter. This is London Calling.
Equate is a natural energy drink containing only natural ingredients. Fruit juices, ginseng, guarana, green tea and a nip of natural caffeine from the green coffee bean. And there's enough fruit juice in each can to give you one of your 5 a day. Need a natural lift? Try Equate.
We're back.
Twice
Mr.
in one
Melzack,
night.
how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Before I start, I just want to say congratulations to Mark Prince. Obviously, he joined us a few weeks ago, didn't he, in this very studio. We had a little bit of a spar, me and Paul Morrissey and Mark, but he won his comeback fight against, I've got this written down because I'm not sure how to say it or pronounce it, or even spell it, given the mistake I've made here. Jindřich Veliký, 4th round KO.
You should become a TV commentator.
At York Hall, 4th round KO, and we found out today through Mark that he'll be back in the ring on November the 30th, so not long to go now.
It's quick, isn't it, for a second fight?
He said something about the amount of fights he wants to get in over the next 2 years, so he's going to be busy, but from everybody at London Calling, everybody at QPR, Brian included, well done, mate.
Well done,
you did it for kind, as you said you were, so we're all immensely proud. Brian, tonight's show?
Yes, well, I said it's been so long since we did the last show, and so much has actually happened.
Yeah, there has been a lot that's happened, more so with the focus on the internationals. Obviously, we've had a number of players that have been involved in that, but it's great. Football's back this weekend.
That's what it's all about.
You do miss it when there's no Premier League, no Championship, Football League. You do miss it. So Millwall at the weekend. We'll go into more detail a little bit later. We'll start with the competition. Chance to win a signed QPR first team shirt. All we want to know is which Ars summer signing did Clint Hill say had the X factor in his initiation sing song earlier this season?
About the initiations that have gone on since the new players have arrived. Have you got any funny stories you could tell us?
It's just basically getting up on a stool in front of everybody at away games while everyone's having dinner and singing your heart out to the best or worst of your ability, to be honest with you. It was very good. He done an Akon one, which was a bit of a surprise to everyone.
Was it rapping bit as well?
Yeah, he was good actually. He got a few people on the feet.
So which Ars summer signing did Clint Hill say was the best X Factor singer?
Have to wait, they should tweet in, shouldn't they?
Unfortunately, we haven't got the clip, but we're going to try and get hold of the clip. One of the backroom team has got the clip of Tom Carroll singing, so fingers crossed we can get hold of that. Tweet us your guesses using the hashtag LCI. You got the giggles?
I have, yes.
Well,
I certainly have.
What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
How bored you are given that light?
I tell you, I've got to do something about this lighting. Definitely.
I
That's why I don't like
playing. With my permatan.
I know you're tan. You're looking very healthy.
Well, I've had a
raring
nice break.
to go. You've had a good break, the international break.
It has been nice, but I'm fully recharged, batteries recharged, and I'm ready to go again. Topic of debate for this week. It's one that we put on Twitter 48 hours ago. Would you like to see Harry stick with one up front, or would you rather he goes with two up this weekend? Obviously, options of Javier Chavanton, who came on in the last game against Barnsley, made a huge impact.
Absolutely, straight
away.
away.
On the pitch for 5 minutes or so, and made a big impact.
Yeah.
Andy Johnson, don't think he's quite going to be ready, but there will be the option of Andy coming back soon. Nico Cranshaw, Junior Hoylett, Matty Phillips is back training. Tom Carroll, we're still awaiting news on. Obviously, limped out of England under 21 duty on Tuesday night with what looked to be an ankle injury. Harry Redknapp will probably reveal all tomorrow morning. But topic of debate: would you go with one up or would you go with two up against Millwall? Brian, let's cast our mind back 12 days or so ago. History was made at Loftus Road.
I think in possibly two ways. First of all, clean sheet, breaking the record for QPR, but 41 passes in one move, I think, on that game.
Yeah.
Was that a record in passing movements for QPR?
We're certainly setting records, aren't we? I mean, 8 in a row now in terms of clean sheets, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be easy to give Robert Green credit, it'd be easy to give Richard Dunn credit and all the back four, but Harry Redknapp has said, and
it's a team.
It is a complete team of every person that's pulled, whether it be Max Emer, who's played 15 minutes this season, or Richard Dunn, who's played in every minute of that 8-game clean sheet run. Everyone deserves credit.
All deserve it. And you can, as I've been saying, and we've got that body language we haven't had for a few seasons.
Yeah.
And you can see it. Everybody is playing for each other. And those clean sheets. Rob Green, thankfully, haven't really been tested too much this season. Yeovil was the only game he's really been tested. But long may it go on, because at the end of the day, you read the Sunday paper, and there's a 0.
That's all we want.
That's all you want.
Clean sheets galore.
Yes.
We want your views though. What did you make of that performance against the Tykes? Use the hashtag LCI. But before we get your views, let's run the VT and have a little look back on that 2-0 win at Loftus Road.
QPR remain the only side unbeaten in the Championship this season. A decent looking ball. Over comes the cross, tipped away by Rob Green. Third away before Asso Akoto could get a touch on the ball, but he's won it back well. Benoit Asso Akoto curled into the path of Charlie Austin, and the shot comes back in again and hits Austin right in front of goal. Last week, Barton over the free kick. Pushed out wide, back to Carroll. Barton. Cranshaw, good feet from Cranshaw. Into Austin! And the breakthrough finally made by Queen's Park Rangers midway through the second half. Austin, still going here, Charlie Austin, still going. Bundled over was he by Martin Craney. And the referee gives the penalty. Rolls the ball into the bottom corner and scores from the spot for the third consecutive week. It's his 6th league and cup goal of the season, and Rangers lead 2-0. Looking to make an immediate return, of course, to the top flight. And Cheventon tries his luck. Butland taking no chances, didn't need to make the save, but Cheventon went for the top corner. Queen's Park Rangers keep their unbeaten record intact. They've beaten Barnsley here by 2-0.
Those of you that were paying attention may have, and I've just realised why you've got the giggles. I might have just given away the answer to the quiz at the start of the show, but bear with us, we'll continue. And remarkably,
Leaving the truth professional.
Remarkably, there's loads of people still getting it wrong. But all fun and games on London Corner. You wouldn't expect anything else, would you? Wouldn't expect anything else. Brian,
yes.
Looking back on that, fantastic, wasn't it?
a great result. Harry Redknapp, substitution, right time, made a big difference.
Yeah. Bringing on Junior.
Absolutely changed. It changed the game because we needed someone actually to run at their defence, and nobody was really going hard at their defence. He picked up the ball, and that's what Junior Hoylett's all about.
And the thing that excites me really about this current Queen's Park Rangers side is that you've still got someone like Matt Phillips, who, having seen quite a bit of him in the Premier League with Blackpool and in the Championship, is probably the most direct winger at this level.
Yes.
Probably on a par with Junior in terms of taking players. He's still to come back into the side.
Well, terrorise his defences, doesn't it?
And it's a great, whether or not these players start or whether or not they come on remains to be seen. But fantastic start for us, and long may it continue.
Long may it go on. I mean, you expect it to go on, but there's all that chance that something could go wrong. We don't want to go drastically.
We'll touch on it slightly later on in the show, but
we haven't got much later because we were late on today.
And we apologise again. But three away games coming up. We'll touch on one now with Jack Milner from Bet Victor. Good evening, Jack.
Good evening, chaps. You well?
Yeah, very good. How are you?
Fantastic, thank you.
Good. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're just discussing the fantastic club record that we're enjoying at the minute, and long may it continue. I say, touching wood.
Mostly all of us.
Odds on another clean sheet then. Clean sheet number 9 this weekend.
It's 5-4 for another clean sheet, but let's be honest, it should be a lot short on Millwall. With the best one in the world, they're not in the greatest form at the minute, are they? Languishing in the foot of the table, and I can't believe it. We're even money QPR on Saturday, which looks an absolutely enormous price. When Charlie and I were discussing this, we thought you lads should be about 8-13, 4-7. We're giving you a chance.
So even money QPR this weekend.
Even money. Flip a coin. Do they win? Do they not?
That's a very good price, I must admit. I say it's a good price. Looking back 2 years ago, in the year we got promoted from the Championship to the Premier League, I know we lost 2-0 there, and we had a man who will have a foot in their camp this weekend, Dan Shittu, was sent off. But the man that everyone's talking about is Charlie Austin at the minute, and 5 in 5, very prolific. What odds on him scoring the opener this weekend?
Well, Charlie Austin, yeah, I mean, we flagged him for 16-1. He was a bit slow to get into full flight, but he's been absolutely flying. As you mentioned, 5 in 5. He's now 9-2 to be the Championship top goal scorer.
So that's short now, really.
That shot, yeah. It's going to be him, Joe. I mean, I'm a big Huddersfield Town fan, but James Vaughan, he's prone to acts of lunacy now and again. It's going to be between Austin and Rhodes, but he's 19-5 to open the scoring on Saturday, 13-10 to score any time, and 4-1 to grab 2 or more. And given how poor Millwall's defensive, especially at home, I think 4-1 for 2 or more could be a big price.
Yeah, conceding a lot of goals, Millwall, 4-0 and 5-2 in their last outings away from home, albeit they won the 3 prior to that. So, final one then, Jack. Give us a good bet then for our fans to stick a quid on this weekend.
Having a look through, I mean, it is a big weekend of racing. It's the Champions Day at Ascot.
Yeah.
The Queen's filly estimate should run very, very well. It should be hats off for the Queen, but we'll keep it close to home. I'm fancying Nico Crancher to score any time, 11-4. To get on the score sheet. I think he's been playing really. He's been making the midfield take for the past couple of games, and I think he's getting better. And I'm fancying a 20-yard perler. What do you reckon, lads?
Yeah, we like the sound of that. Like you say, he has been excellent for us in the couple of games he's featured in. So fingers crossed for that. Jack, thanks for joining us this evening.
My pleasure. Have a nice
evening. The thoughts there of Jack Milner from Bet Victor. James will be happy.
I think so.
You like that one, didn't you? That's just for you, David. You're watching London Calling in association with Equate.
Equate is a natural energy drink containing only natural ingredients. Fruit juices, ginseng, guarana, green tea and a nip of natural caffeine from the green coffee bean. And there's enough fruit juice in each can to give you 1 of your 5 a day. Need a natural lift? Try Equate.
That's also obviously of Jack Milner there from Bet Victor. Brian, we'll go back again, just briefly looking at Barnsley before we speak live on air to Marc Bircham. Marc Bircham joins us even, as does our top scorer Charlie Austin. That's all to come on the show. But just looking back to Barnsley, and we'll speak to him later, as I said, Austin, he's starting to look the real deal.
Oh, he really did. You could see from that goal he scored, great cross from Juliet Hoylett, and that final touch from Charlie was the confidence that we didn't have in the first 5 games.
Finish as well.
Absolutely, in the first few games when he was here, like, granted he scored against Exeter City, but in the league he couldn't get started. But that was confidence, the way he finished.
And then obviously he then, having got the goal, buoyed by the goal, he goes on that fantastic, I was going to say mazy dribble, but it was more brute power than anything. Gets past 2 defenders, just shifts the ball out wide, about to get shot away, ball down, dusts himself down, scores the penalty.
Absolutely, and again, there's a lot of pressure on a player like Charlie Austin, who's expected to score. I think any player really at that time. You know, you're under so much pressure taking a penalty.
Sorry to interrupt. That pressure comes from within because he demands a very high standard of himself. I wasn't at the training ground today, but I'm led to believe he was amongst a group of players that stayed out long after the session finished again today, putting in the extra hours. Has been discussed by a number of players, including the goalkeeper Rob Green this week. He's saying that he's putting the extra hours in, and it's bearing fruits at the moment. It's paying dividends.
Yes. Well, that's what, you know, again, Charlie Austin's come along to score. You know, when he was at Burnley, it was one in a goal every other game, and he's doing it now. You know, if we ended the season today, he's scoring 1 in 2. So he's carrying on the way he is, and you know, he's looking hot. He's looking sharp.
Yeah.
He's looking how we expected him. You know, the first few games weren't too sure, a little upset, a little disappointed.
I think we've discussed this before on the show that there's been cases throughout Charlie's career where he struggles in the first few games, but then he goes on a run. So long may that run continue. Marc Bircham joins us live. Good evening, Birch.
Evening.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Busy old week for you. I think you've been on Canada duty as well, haven't you?
Yeah. I've been coaching the Canadian national team as well, which was, I'll tell you what was handy there, was using our training ground, and I was sat in the corner, that was handy, so I've been doing that and the 21s.
You haven't
so it's been interesting.
Expenses in this week?
What's that?
You normally like an expenses claim with Canada, don't you?
No, well, that's when I'm driving over to Canada, I would do, yeah.
But we'll go on to
the old drive, isn't it, to Canada?
Yeah. We'll go on to the important game against Millwall this weekend. But let's start just by looking back at the EDS and the season so far. Give us a brief synopsis of the opening few weeks of the campaign.
Yeah, it's been a good campaign. Again, with our policy, our main aim is to try and get our lads out playing the highest standard of league football they can, and we've done well in the loan market there, getting the lads out at League One clubs. Michael Doughty's gone to Stevenage, he's starting every game. Michael Harron's doing the same at Gillingham. Bruno's gone to Stevenage. We're hoping to tie 1 or 2 up in the next week as well, again at League One level. So on that side, that's been really good. On the football side of things, as you said, it's not about results, it's about performances for us. Yeah. And our performances have been consistently quite good. We've had some exciting games, quite high-scoring games. Tom Hitchcock has been scoring lots of goals in reserves, which is a good thing. Performances, young Mike Petrasso has done well and scored in the last couple of games. It was disappointing our last game at Bristol City. I put it down to maybe you get 1 or 2 games like that a season where the players can't seem to do much right on the pitch. It weren't through lack of effort. It was just one of them off days. Yeah. So hopefully they can put us behind them. We've got a good game against Brentford at Loftus Road on Tuesday. So hopefully they can bounce back and get playing to the standard that's required, and normally they hit when for QBR.
Yeah, 1 o'clock Tuesday at Loftus Road. We'll give out more details on that game later in the show, but free entry to that one. So hopefully there'll be a few people watching that one. But just harping on the academy itself, we've already seen the importance of it, haven't we, with obviously Tom Hitchcock coming on late and scoring a win against Ipswich, and Max Eamer, who's been at the club a long time, and he's had to be patient. He's played here and there in a couple of cup games, but came on in the league. That must be incredibly satisfying for someone like you who works with these lads day in, day out.
Yeah, what's more satisfying than the 3 of them that have come on this year. You got Max, Tom, and Mo Sharif, has all done well, and all the lads that have gone away on pre-season and joined in with the first team, the gaffer's been really impressed with them. And when Steve McLaren was here, he was really impressed. Yeah. And he said he's coached in Europe, and technically all these lads could easily play abroad, he said, which was encouraging. And I just think it's gave the manager the confidence that if he does need to dip into the reserves, if you will, into the EDS and call up players, that they will be more than capable to do a job in there.
You're obviously enjoying it still. I know you were linked with a Millwall job, weren't you, earlier this summer? I don't know whether that was because a few of your mates are having a few quid on it, or whether you're a genuine candidate. But is senior management something that you really want to get stuck into sooner rather than later, or are you quite happy to bide your time and learn the ropes from someone like Harry Redknapp?
It's a perfect job for me at the minute. I can learn and experiment with coaching and tactics because there's no pressure for you, really, and producing players. And I'm learning off one of the best managers in England, which is Harry Redknapp, working quite close with him and the first team, and just develop himself. I think in the long run, you've got to look to maybe get into management. It was flattering being linked to Mill, and I think Kenny Jackett had something to do with that probably when he left, so that was always nice. But look, when the time's right, you know, when something comes up, you probably do know when it is the right time. But hopefully I'll see myself at QPR for the long term and the long haul. Put quite a lot of effort into building these group of players up. I've had a majority of them since they was 15, so hopefully can see it through and hopefully get a couple into the first team squad, playing regular in the next couple of years, but all out and playing at the highest level of football they can, you know, on loan.
Hi Mark, it's Brian. How are you doing?
Hello, Brian.
Right, look, we're looking ahead to a big game this weekend. Two of your former clubs going head to head. Obviously, a game that we must win and want to win. It's going to be a cracker. That's what it says on the script here. Certainly not a Christmas cracker, but obviously something that you're looking forward to. A bit apprehensive, obviously, going down to the Den.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. I think if we can play the way that we have in the last few games of our possession football, I think that's like kryptonite to Millwall fans. If the other team's keeping the ball, they really don't like it. So if we can bring that and play how we have been playing, and I think it should go to script, and it'd be really good for us. And look, the one thing with Millwall, whenever it's a big game down there, the crowd's right up for it, the team's right up for it. If we can take the fight out the game and hopefully get that first goal, then it shows a little bit of weakness from the two big defeats they've had coming into this game, and hopefully we can pounce on that.
So we've got a cracking pic on our screen at the moment. Steve Lomas leaving a huge elbow in your face in what looks like a London derby from, I don't know the year, but he's certainly leaving one on you. But Steve's a good mate of yours, and he'll certainly have the Millwall boys fired up, won't he?
Trust me, I would have got him back if it had been fine. Yeah, I think it would have pictured me jumping into an Achilles next if it did. Lomi's a good mate and spoke to him regular since he's got the job, and hopefully he turned it around a little bit and he got 3 wins on the bounce, which was fantastic for him because it stopped all the rumours about the insecurity with the job, and hopefully he can get back on track after Saturday. I'll be texting him that now. Hopefully you get back on track after Saturday.
You talked about a few minutes ago about possession, and that's something that obviously Millwall won't be looking forward to not getting much of. Now, we have, and we've proven in the last 2 games against Middlesbrough and Barnsley that, you know, we can play football, we can keep possession, stringing long periods of holding the ball together, 33, 36, 41 passes in a go. Is that the sort of football that you like to see being played?
Yeah, definitely, but I don't like to see possession football without an end product, because at the end of the day, that's why people come and watch and pay money to come see a team play, and have to get really crossed and shots in on goal. And like maybe Swansea and a few other teams, they pass around the back for the sake of passing around the back, and I think Wigan done that a bit in the Premier League, where possession's great, but I think you need to have a plan and you need to go forward with that possession, and that's what we've done really in recent weeks. We've kept the ball, but we've not just kept it for the sake of it, we've kept it moving to then maybe split the defence and get a crossing or a shot in them. And as I said, if we can do that in Millwall, that'd be excellent. I mean, well, when I played down there, if the other team got 5 passes, we were getting booed off, so hopefully we can use that to our advantage.
All the new signings have made an impact. Is there one that's impressed you more than others? But
yeah, they've all done well. I think like Nico's a class player, and once he gets match fitness, it'll be even better. And I think Charlie's been an excellent signing. Like, he scored goals at this level, and we knew that he would. I know he was unlucky. Like, he had a goal disallowed, and he hit the bar and post in his first 3 games. But we knew as soon as he started to score, he hopefully would get on a roll, and that's what he's done. And Danny Simpson's come in, and I think he's been a 6 or 7 out of 10 every game.
Yeah.
But then you look at it with a clean sheet. Dunny's come in. I've got to be honest, I didn't think Dunny was played 20 games early doors as he has, but I think he's a shining example to any young defender.
I was going to touch on that.
It's not about pace and power. I think if the young defenders out there, and especially I've said that to my lads and I've said to the academy lads, get a DVD of Richard Dunn, and that's how you defend. It's about reading the game, positional sense, and not panicking. And I think he's been excellent.
Just a question from Paul Gibbons at SuperHoops10 on Twitter. He says, as a Rangers aficionado, what does Birchie make of this year's kits?
I think the kit's excellent. I'd like the hoops a little bit smaller, just a little bit, because I think you have to wear the kit out to get the full effect of the hoops. Because I think if you tuck the shirt in, I think only about 2 hoops are shown. I'd like another bit of blue on the top of the shoulder, so that gives the illusion of a different hoop.
And the
an extra hoop. But I think the hoops along home and away and third kit is excellent, because I think you can toy around with away kits, but at the end of the day we always come back to the red and black hoops because they're the best.
I'll leave the last word for you. Go on, shameless plug for Tuesday lunchtime, Brentford at Loftus Road.
Yeah, because come down, it should hopefully be a good game. I know Brentford's always up for a game against Rangers, but yeah, hopefully we'll have 3 overage players. Hopefully we'll have some bigger name ones playing. So yeah, if you're bunking off school kids, then get them down there. I don't advocate that bunking off school, but if you are, you might as well come and watch a game.
Bertie, thanks for joining us tonight, mate.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, kids, don't bunk off
Should
school.
have done the game today. All the schools, most of them on strike, should have done it today.
Yeah, good point. But if you are by a computer, if you can't make it to Loftus Road, but you are by a computer, we'll be showing it on Ustream.
Hey, can you imagine all the offices now?
We'll be streaming it live. That's one thing to look forward to after Saturday's game. We touched on the clean sheets earlier. We'll talk about it again and again and again. Here's the views of Rob Green and Rodney Marsh.
He's made club history here
today. First of all, Rob, congratulations. 8 clean sheets. It's a new club record. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I was just saying, I didn't really think about it until sort of injury time. You focus that much on the game, you want to get everything right, and whilst we were comfortable, it's still, you don't want to let one slip and then sort of make it a nervous last few minutes. So we're pleased with the win more so than anything, and the records come and go in football, but it's obviously stood for a long time, this one, and it's pleasing to get it, and more pleasing for the lads for the win and in front of me.
It's amazing to go 8 games without conceding a goal. Is it's something that most teams dream about doing. It doesn't happen that often. And of course, Rob Green now should be in the frame for the England #1 spot, shouldn't he? It doesn't matter. As David James recently said, it doesn't matter where you play. If you're playing great and you're getting clean sheet one after the other, and now Rob Green owns the record in the history of Queen's Park Rangers Football Club. He becomes that goalkeeper. There's no reason why he shouldn't be in the England team.
Yeah, great. I mean, it's. I've never had a game where I've been applauded so much for having done so little. But it's testament to the lads that have been in front of me. Testament to the lads who've been in front of me. That it's such a fickle game, and it's such a game of fractions and margins that it's to get the things right that we've got right so consistently, particularly Danny and Clint in defence, have been magnificent. And not too often in the 8 games that I've been called upon, and so that's pleasing as well, because as a defence, as a goalkeeper, you pride yourself on getting the simple things right, and you trust that the reaction stuff, the spectacular stuff will come, and it's that which is your bread and butter, and that's what you earn your career on.
Yeah, but that's like that's a double-edged thing, because as a defender, if your goalkeeper is making important saves, you raise your game, right? As a goalkeeper, if your centre halves are stopping shots and blocking shots, that helps you, and it's a joint thing, defenders and the goalkeeper. But I always say that a great goalkeeper can win you games. And so far this season, I've seen highlights of games. So far this season, Rob Green has made 5 or 6 crucial saves, a couple with his feet. I can't remember the game, 2 games ago I think it was, he made a couple of terrific saves with his feet. And when you do that and you're confident and you're keeping the ball out the back, it can only be great for confidence.
Rodney Marsh is he's so passionate, isn't he? Every time you meet Rodney, and we've had the fortune of having him here on the sofa with us.
Well, not literally, but yes.
So to speak. But he's always so positive, and he was full of praise for Rob Green and his fellow defenders after that clean sheet.
Yes, and it was so good because he was sitting by us during the game, and you could see that he was taking it in, everything in, every move in, and living every minute of that game.
And good to see him over here, and he'll be back. I know he's doing quite a lot of work with BT Sport at the moment, so he's coming back I think before Christmas. So we'll catch up with him and we'll try and get him in here next to you on
absolutely
that
on the left hand side. Okay.
Interesting there, the thoughts of Marc Bircham, and it's key, isn't it, the academy and everything that's positive about the club at the minute.
It's exciting.
Yeah, at all levels.
Yeah,
at all levels. I mean, we launched a new ladies' Facebook page today for fans of the ladies team. There's so much going on, and like you say, at the moment, touching wood, it is all very positive. And one man who's very, very positive about things, about life at Loftus Road is Charlie Austin, who joins us. Good evening, Charlie.
Good evening, how are we?
Good, mate, how are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Thanks very much for joining us on London Calling this evening. 10 league games into your QPR career, 5 goals in your last 5 games. We're joint top second. We're second behind Burnley. You must be delighted with the start we've made.
Yeah, delighted with the start we made. I think obviously it was big expectations on at the start of the season for QPR to get back to the Premier League, and I think the start we've made so far is the right one.
It's if you look at the history books, you often make I don't want to be disrespectful here to you, but a slowish start in terms of scoring, but as soon as you're up and running, which you've proved here at QPR, you really do go on a hot streak. That's 5 in 5 now. You must be delighted with how that's all going in front of goal.
Yeah, I'm delighted. Obviously, I'd like to score more, just like any centre forward was, and hopefully I can continue that after the international break. I mean, as long as I keep getting myself in the right place at the right time, and the players that we've got in the squad, I'm always going to benefit from that.
3 penalties in a row now, and you've taken them all, and I think you've sent the keeper the wrong way with them all as well. Without revealing the secret to your success, is there a certain method that Charlie Austin goes through when stepping up to take a spot kick?
Honestly, I practice my penalties every day, to be honest, so I can go either way. When the penalty comes, I just hope for it. I know which way to go before I take the penalty, and 9 times out of 10 the keeper dies the other way.
Do you get any advice from your fellow goalkeepers? Does Rob Green or Brian Murphy or even the goalkeeping coaches there, do they say anything to you with regards to the art of a successful spot kick from a goalkeeper's point of view?
As long as there's enough pace on the ball, I think they just say as long as there's enough pace on the ball, the keeper's not really going to save it. Even if they do dive the right way, if you put it in the corner, they're not really going to get there.
Charlie, you've clearly settled into life on the pitch at QPR, but how's life suiting you now you're down in the capital?
Yeah, it's suiting me fine. I've settled in really well for me, my girlfriend and my daughter. We've all settled in well, and I think that was the main thing. Come down here, as long as everything's going well off the pitch, it normally does on the pitch as well.
Millwall this weekend. The Den's one of those tough places to go, renowned as being a bit of a hotbed, especially on London Derby Day. What are you expecting from the trip to the Den on Saturday?
A hostile atmosphere, like it is every time you go to the Den. It is what it is. I think you just got to overcome and forget about what the atmosphere is going to be like, obviously, because you know what you're getting yourself into when you go to the Den. But obviously we've got to look beyond that and try and get the 3 points. We know it's going to be tough, but we just got to work hard and hopefully we get the right result. Richard
Dunn said this week that he believes these next 3 games ultimately hold the key to our season. Whilst there's obviously a lot of games to go after this hat-trick of away games, are you of a similar opinion that Millwall, Burnley, Wigan really do pose a threat to that unbeaten start to the season?
Yeah, definitely. I think going away from home against anyone's going to be tough, but these 3 as well, especially obviously coming back from the break with Millwall, and then the next 2 games are going to be tough. Wigan and Burnley, they're up there, they're on a good run, but hopefully we can keep our unbeaten run going.
Burnley next weekend. What sort of expectation, what sort of reception are you expecting to get from the Burnley fans? You know, you were the darling of Turf Moor.
I hope we'll get a nice one, but as I had two and a great years there with them, and I left on good terms, and it when I left it was what it was. And I hope to go back there and get a good reception. But the main thing is to go there and leave with 3 points. What do you make of their start? Because they've really come out firing on all cylinders. They come out the traps at a hell of a pace, and certainly, speaking personally, I'm slightly surprised at how well they've started, but credit to them, and with Danny Ings and Sam Vokes banging in the goals up front, they're always going to have a chance, aren't they? Yeah, to be honest, when the day I left to come to QPR, I said to a few people, Burnley will have a good start, and they'll surprise a few people, which obviously they have, because the pre-season was very intense. Manager Sean Dyche had the lads going really well. Great team spirit there, and I think if you get a run of results going for you, I think the lads are just confident, and that's the way it's going, because that's certainly how it is with QPR at the moment. The team spirit is brilliant, and obviously if you get in that vein of form of winning, it just normally comes natural to you. You talk about that team spirit, and certainly I have the pleasure of being a part of that on a daily basis. Just how good is it, and how important is a spirit like that in terms of a team being a success? Yeah, it's massive. You see each other every day, and I think that's the main thing. You can't have people dampening the team spirit, because, like you say, you're with each other every day. It's a long season, and it's 46 games in the season, and everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants to be up the top of the championship, and I think if we're all pulling this in the right direction, the team spirit has to be high, and at the moment that's how it is. And then another sellout in the away end on Saturday afternoon. How key are the fans? And I mean, you look at the numbers. We travelled in great numbers to Yeovil. We've done it throughout this season today. How key a role will the fans play as our 12th man, both home and away this season? Yeah, they're going to be key. Obviously, to get behind the team is the main thing, but their support and, like you say, being the 12th man is going to help us massively, because when you go away from home, you need as much support as you can. And like you say, when they've come away to Yeovil, a place like that, they've been brilliant for us. We've had a question from Roger Newman on Twitter. He said, Charlie, we've seen your shoulder strapped up for matches. Can you explain the reason behind that? It's just it's a mental thing, part of what I just have done. I have done now. I've had my shoulder strapped for the last 2.5 years. There's nothing to it. My shoulder's strong, and so it's just something that I feel that I need to have on there. So there's nothing to it, really. That's good. That's good. Very good to hear.
Good answer.
Charlie, thanks for joining us this evening, and all the best for Saturday. We wish you all the luck in the world. Go and get another goal for us. I'll try to. Thanks very much. Cheers, Charlie. Cheers, sir. The views there are Charlie Austin. You're listening to London Calling in association with Equate.
Equate is a natural energy drink containing only natural ingredients. Fruit juices, ginseng, guarana, green tea, and a nip of natural caffeine from the green coffee bean. And there's enough fruit juice in each can to give you one of your 5 a day. Need a natural lift? Try Equate.
Great to hear the views there, Charlie. He's a super confident lad.
Oh, you can hear it in his voice. And again, let that confidence go on. It'll be interesting to see, again, you were talking about the reception, I was asking about the reception at Turf Moor. And you know, if he scores, how would he react? You know, because when players go back... Yeah, I don't buy into that not celebrating. You don't? I don't, because... Is it respect for the opposing team? Yeah, but there is a respect, but... And I can understand it to an extent, but... At the end of the day, he's paid by QPR. He's an employee at QPR. Why can't he celebrate, regardless of... 2 years, I suppose. If it's been 5-10 years you're at a club, maybe there's an element of respect. But it's a difficult one, and it's a debate. Well, let's hope he's in that situation where he's knocking 2 or 3 in there. Let's hope he celebrates that. Maybe he can celebrate the first 2, and then he won't celebrate the hat-trick. That's right. Yes. But he can take the ball home with him. Everybody's happy. Yeah. Everybody's happy. We've run a series of videos throughout this year, behind-the-scenes videos on YouTube, QPR Player, amongst others. Here's the latest one called Press Pass 2, which gives a informative insight into everything that me and my fellow media colleagues get up to on a match day at Loftus Road. Well, it's match day here at Loftus Road, and we're just busy preparing the media suite ahead of today's 3 o'clock kickoff. This is how it looks, well, this is how it's left at the end of the game, and we'll just set it up, take the chairs down, replace some of the sheets, take the backdrop down, get the TVs on ahead of the early games, and then we'll be all systems go for midday.
10 to 12 now, we're well on our way to Loftus Road for the match against Barnsley. 3 o'clock kick-off.
We tend to get there about 3 hours before the match, have our meetings and debrief with the press and the commercial teams, just to make sure we understand what we need to do, what we need to get, any special requests that we may have. Got 3 photographers on today. Myself, Ben will be looking after things on the pitch in terms of match action and that kind of editorial type picture, and then we've got Michael working for us behind the scenes, as it were, looking after a lot of the commercial and the corporate work. That's obviously a big part of QPR's business. Looking forward to the game today. The weather's set fair, which is always a bonus in early October.
We've just had the meeting regarding PA matters, where you go through all sorts, number of mascots coming, amount of birthdays, etc., and other bits going on. Today, obviously, we've got Rob Green doing the getting a presentation from Philip Beard for being September Player of the Month. Now that's done, just had a call. Rodney Marsh is here and is happy to do an interview with us, which is great. We're just popping down here to interview Rodney for QPR Player, and no doubt we'll use bits and pieces for YouTube. Might get a competition clip out of him as well for London Calling. So when you get interview opportunities like this, you just try and make the most of them and use them across all different platforms. So we're off to do that now. How are you? Yeah. What do you want to do? Is it TV review? Yeah. Okay. No. And where are you? Are you in W4? Yeah.
Total a month. I've been over already 3 weeks, and I'm coming over again in December to do some more at BT Sport programme. Oh, okay. Level in a minute. One more. Yeah. Who scored? Negredo. Did he start? Yeah. And Lukaku. But I can't see the what he did. I've actually seen him play well. The defenders, all they just keep the ball out the net. You score the winning goal and you become the hero. So I know how that goes.
First goal of the game, Charlie Austin from the junior boiler squad.
Coming up to number 3, Peter Rabbit. And that's what it means.
8 consecutive entries. The defence midfield falls away from the front. If you look at the goalkeeper from the back four, which was made seven forwards, the Premiership sat there on the back four, and look at Rob Green there, which made England a bit.
Look at when they tired, you know, we took him, bought him in for nothing, give him room, he just wanted to come and play really, so it's quite good.
Yeah, so that's amazing.
I love that video. It was a good insight,
I
really
was just
good
going to say,
insight.
nice little insight.
Yeah.
You know,
Fair play to Adam Holm, who there's a lot of good work behind the scenes, as it were.
You should come out and give a little wave one week. Maybe
sure
not this week, though. Maybe when we're not on there.
The viewing figures might go down. But no, it's a really good, insightful piece, and we've had some great feedback from you, the fans. So we appreciate that. Interesting, Paul Moore's saying on the social stream, on newstream.tv, how many points will we get over the next 3 games? He said 7. David Webber says Millwall, Burnley both wins and a draw at Wigan, so by my calculation that equals 7. Lisa Richards says I'd be more than happy with 7 from the next 3 games. Burnley is huge, she says. Matt King says I think we're going to win the Premier League next year with Charlie. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Matt.
Yeah, we've been there.
How many points would you take?
I'd take 7 points.
Yeah,
I'd take
5, a win and 2 draws?
Oh, okay, away from the record. A win and 2 draws. Yeah, I suppose we would take a win. They're 3 tough games. I mean, they're all tough games. Millwall is tough because it's Millwall.
London derby.
Absolutely.
Surprise.
But you've got Burnley and you've got Wigan. You know, the game against Wigan is one of their 2 in hand.
Yeah.
You know, and if we can win their 2 games in hand, you know, they're there or thereabouts. They're in the playoffs.
I mean, and there's no doubt that Wigan are a good side. They've put together a really strong side this year. Managed to keep the majority of the side that went down. They lost maybe 2 or 3 players to Roberto Martinez at Everton, including Aruna Kone, James McCarthy. So, you know, there has been changes there, but he also invested well there, I think, Owen Cole. So they will prove a tough nut to crack.
But again, you always say, though, you know, Pete, a lot of fans will say, you know, well, they're keeping their eye on Europe.
Yeah.
I don't always fall for that because they'll want to win every game they can.
Realistic, they're not going to win the Europa League, are
No,
they?
of course not. It's a bit of fun for them at the moment. It's a bit
if they get a bit further, then the finances will kick in as well.
Absolutely right.
Fantastic. They were brilliant last year.
But they are 3 tough. You know, October is a tough month for us. You know, 4 games, only 1 at home.
Yeah, and that 1 game at home is obviously the return of Steve McLaren as well. So if anybody will know where they can break QPR down, where they can get that.
That's going to be interesting because he's going there with the knowledge.
Yeah.
And he must be relishing the thought of coming back
here. He's got a big task in his hands there. I think obviously Nigel Clough was there a number of years and did a good job there by all accounts, but I think they see it as a bit of a transitional period there as well at Derby, so not an easy job.
Wish Steve every success except on the 2nd of December, I think it is actually.
2nd or 3rd, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Until they play us.
Yes.
We wish him all the success because he's
not that day.
A really good guy. Loads of people are still coming in with the competition, so we'll reveal.
Are people getting the answer right, or are they getting it wrong?
Yeah, they're getting it right because I gave away the answer at the beginning. Jamie QPR says, don't make London Calling into an advert for the website, please. We'll try not to, but we do like to provide snippets as well, so hopefully you'll understand that. But Jamie, give us a call, 07557 435 710.
10 minutes you've got to give us a call.
Voice your opinions. Ethan Daniel says, they're not really doing that, Jamie. I love seeing these behind-the-scenes stuff and appreciate all the work. Ethan, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 5, 6, 7, almost 8 minutes left of the show, and we'd be very keen to hear your thoughts.
Well, we want to know.
Go
on. 1 or 2 up front.
I was just about to say, debate, 1 or 2 up front.
Well, I've just said you.
I'd go 1 up front.
I'd probably go 1 up front because, again, we've got.
Why change it? If it ain't
why
great,
change it? And again,
it.
1 up front. We've still got the players though that are able to create. You know, you've got a Clint Hill that will suddenly come up and knock a goal in.
One area we do expect there to be a change, obviously, in the wake of Tom Carroll limping away from under 21 duties after 16 minutes. I think they won 5-0, didn't they, against Lithuania? He obviously limped out of that game. I haven't had an update, but I expect would be a huge doubt for this weekend. Harry will probably reveal all in his press conference tomorrow morning. Good plug here, live on Ustream.
Yes, another plug for the web.
9:45. Sorry, plug for the web.
Well, you have to.
So there's going to be a change there. Will Carl Henry come in? I guess
probably he would do.
He's
the most
obvious
player, strong player. You need a strong player.
You
need absolutely. He seems the ideal player to bring in. But again, you know, 2 up front, no, 1 up front. Charlie's doing what Charlie's meant to do. He's scoring goals. And if if the delivery is good, Junior Hoylett, if he's playing, it's selected. You can do the delivery, literally push it.
One person that we seem to overlook, and who for me has probably been certainly my favourite player of the season so far, is Gary O'Neill. He's been absolutely outstanding.
Well, I liked him the first time he came on.
Yeah.
And
changed the game that day.
Pardon?
Changed the game that day.
Totally. Came on so fast, determined again, running forward.
And I think he'd probably admit he's been played slightly out of position. Majority of his career he's played as a central midfielder. Harry's obviously utilising him wide. Whether or not Harry will do that this weekend, remains to be seen with the changes that we
with the changes. If Junior's going to play, and it'll be an interesting. Again, all will be revealed.
Does O'Neill come in for Carroll in central midfield alongside Barton and Fowling? Does Fowling start? Does Barton start?
Yeah.
It's a conundrum for Harry.
But a nice conundrum. It's a great headache,
sure.
and I'd rather have this sort of headache than the headaches we had in the past. So again, one up front. Let's see Charlie play up there again. He needs to score a few more goals. There's a lot of pressure on him though, because people expect him to be the top goal scorer in the championship.
Yeah.
And of course, am I right in saying that if we goalless, if we can keep the clean sheet, all-time record is it in the
second tier record?
Second tier record, yes.
QPR stat. Very well done there, Brian. That's QPR stat of the week. QPR now just 90 minutes away from equaling the second tier league record for clean sheets. Currently jointly held by Chelsea and Leeds. God, we'd love to beat that one.
Absolutely, would do, yeah.
That record stood for over 85 years.
So that'd be amazing to be
it
able
would be great if we could do that.
Is this a season of breaking records?
Well, let's hope so. I mean, people keep going on and on and on about the records. I understand it, and it's great. But the only record I want to see is on the honours list, on the honours board downstairs at the end of the season, QPR promoted. 2013-14.
Yeah.
Back into the big time of the Premier League. That's where we all want to be. Annie QPR says, so excited to be back playing club football. I don't think Annie will be playing, but I think she was watching club football.
You do miss it, don't you?
England were great, but common you ours. Stu said, would be great to get some tunnel cam guys again. Perhaps before and after matches, certainly something that we'll be on top of throughout the season. Before we close things up, let's bring the competition winner. We'll just run the clip actually. We asked you, who did Clint Hill say was the best singer during the players'
It'd be great if it was a different answer, wouldn't it?
Well, it's the answer to the one I gave at the beginning of the show, and we'll announce the winner very soon.
About the initiations that have gone on since the new players have arrived, have you got any funny stories you could tell us?
It's just basically getting up on a stool in front of everybody at away games while everyone's having dinner and singing your heart out to the best or worst of your ability, to be honest with you. Tom Carroll was very good. He'd done an Akon one, which was a bit of a surprise to everyone.
Well, the rapping bit as well.
Yeah, he was good actually. He got a few people on the feet.
It was Tom Carroll, I knew that all along.
Yeah.
I think everybody that listened in at the start of the show and joined us.
But only one winner.
Yeah, and the winner it's on the board there, is 3i Way. It's a strange one. At 3i Way is the winner. Get in touch with Adam Holm, Adam H at qpr.co.uk. At 3i Way, you've won the signed QPR shirt, so congratulations. Many of you got it right. Annie QPR, Stanley Bowles got it right, but there can only be one winner.
Everybody got it right.
And it is 3i Way, and that's why you were laughing at me.
That's why I was laughing at the beginning.
Before we conclude matters, Brian, Millwall Way, it will be tough, and yeah, we hope it all goes off without any problems. I'm sure the QPR fans will be.
Get there nice and early. Get there nice and early.
And
there's a special train, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a special train. All the details on the away day guide on the website. We'll mention them again on Twitter tomorrow, on the previews tomorrow. So yeah, keep an eye out.
Get there as early as you can, and
and enjoy the day.
Absolutely.
Let's hope Rangers get 3 points. What's your prediction, Brian?
I'd like to see us win. I'd like to keep the clean sheet. I'd like to see get 2 goals.
Yeah.
And
so
I'm going for too much. I'm not asking for too much, but
another
again,
2-0.
Another 2-0. You know, I think we're getting a little blasé, maybe QPR fans. You know, if Richard Dunn's playing, I always say you don't need anyone in goal.
Yeah, well, he's done very well, hasn't he? 11-4, Nico Cranchard scoring any time with Bet Victor looks a good price to me. And even money QPR, even money against the Millwall side that I think have only won once at home all season.
Okay, your feelings then. Go on. What do you feel?
Seems a really good. I'd settle for any kind of win.
Yeah.
Clean sheet for me is a bonus. We've got the club record. If we can continue to build on that, fantastic.
It's the points that matter.
I'd love to go there and see us put on the show. And as Mark Bircham said earlier, Millwall fans hate to see the away teams keep possession well. It's something we've done fantastically well all season. We'll miss Tom Carroll if he's out because he's very good at keeping the ball. But we've got enough players now within this squad that are capable of coming in, snapping the chance up to get a first team shirt, and fingers crossed we'll do that.
So we come away from the den with 3 points.
Well, that's the dream.
It is.
That's what we're all hoping for. Paul Moore, we'll leave the final word to you. You say best of luck, Rob Green. 90 minutes from another record. This has been London Calling in association with Equate. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you same time, same place next week.